What's going on YouTube? Today I'd like to do a quick video review of the Xbox One X. Now it's almost been around 2 weeks since I had my Xbox One X. I picked up my pre-order for the Project Scorpio Edition, and if you subscribe to my channel or look up my other videos, you will see an unboxing video as well as quite a bit of gameplay footage taken at 4K 60 frames per second. Now overall, I'm pretty satisfied with my Xbox One X. I've heard a lot of users say that, their fan or whatnot, it's been a little noisy. I've even seen a couple YouTubers whose fan is, kind of stuck on the high velocity setting where it's blowing, the fan at high speed constantly. And so far, it seems like there is going to be a software update or a hardware fix for that fan, or it could just be a technical issue with some of the Xbox One X's. Now, I don't think this will become a widespread issue. I think it's only going to affect, maybe a couple users here and there. So far, the Xbox One S it's pretty much the same design as the Xbox One X, and I don't foresee any issues, with widespread issues like the Xbox 360 was. So I think a lot of people are just a little paranoid about that. I wouldn't really worry too much or look into that too much. It could just be affecting a few people out of the thousands who actually purchased the One X. But either way, I'd like to give you my opinion on how I feel about the One X, and was it worth it for me to spend $499 on this thing? Now, I'll start off by saying that I've been excited for the Xbox One X, or the Project Scorpio, ever since Microsoft announced it last year. I believe they announced it shortly after the Xbox One came out, or the Xbox One S came out. And we also heard news that the PlayStation 4 was going to release a new console. I believe it was codenamed the Neo. This was around when the Xbox One S came out, or slightly before. And at that time, I was planning on saving my money for the PlayStation Neo. However, once they announced that the Xbox One X can do 4K Blu-rays and do HDR and whatnot, that's when I jumped the gun and just grabbed the One S. Now, unfortunately, I never actually got the PlayStation 4 Pro. I still have my regular old PlayStation 4 that came out in 2013, and a lot of us, or myself, a lot of Xbox 360 users, including myself, went straight for the PlayStation 4 after the 360 because the Xbox One launch was terrible. You had a $500 console that came with the Kinect, and nobody wanted it. And not only that, there was rumors that you couldn't, you'd have to be online all the time to play and whatnot. So they made a few mistakes with that launch, and that's, not the only reason why the PlayStation 4 is the superior console right now. That's just the main reason, the main reason it's selling more. And of course, with the PlayStation 4, they have a ton of exclusive games that the Xbox One is certainly lacking. So far, we have, the Halos, the Forzas, the Gears of Wars, the same old repetitive franchises that, they get slightly better with every, sequel. Halo 5 was pretty good, but at the same time, it's not great. It's not as great as Halo 1 was, or Halo 2, Halo 3. And unfortunately, it seems to be that way with a lot of the Xbox One exclusives. Now, I wouldn't say Forza is a bad franchise. Every Forza that's come out has been amazing, minus 5. Forza 5 wasn't really that great in my opinion. It was good, but it wasn't as great as 6 was, or 7 is now. But either way, I mean, people get tired of the same old games over and over again. The only company that's able to do that really well is Nintendo with their Mario and Zelda series. As you can see now, Zelda and Mario are pretty much neck to neck with the Game of the Year, and they're selling really, really well. So, Nintendo, in my opinion, is the only company that can do that. Now, with the Xbox One, you don't have a ton of exclusives. So, with PlayStation 4, you have, Uncharted, Last of Us, God of War, the new Spider-Man that's coming out, and a new Last of Us sequel, which is going to be pretty exciting. So overall, the PlayStation 4 is miles ahead of Xbox One in sales and, first-party games. But the reason why I purchased my 1X from a 1S is because the massive power upgrade. Now, the Xbox One S has about 1.3 teraflops, and the Xbox One X has, I believe, a little bit over 6 teraflops. So that's almost 5 times faster than a base Xbox One, and that's pretty much the reason why I bought an Xbox One X. The big power upgrade. It's a lot faster than the Xbox One, a lot faster than the PS4, and slightly better and faster than the PlayStation 4 Pro. So I was going to jump onto the Pro, but after finding out the games, they're not really true 4K. That kind of led me astray, and I pretty much hung on to my Xbox One S. But so far, after playing, I have about 15 Xbox One X enhanced games. So what that means is that the developer went back and tooled or tailored the game a little bit to feature the Xbox One X. The power enhancements that it gives you, and the games run most of the time native 4K. So Gears of War 4, 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second rather, 4K, and Halo 5, I believe, is 30 frames per second at 4K. It might be 60, but either way, they run really fantastic at 4K. The frames don't really tend to drop. The resolution can drop from 4K below, but not too far off. Maybe 10% below, or 15 or 20% below, but not as much as the PlayStation 4 Pro does in certain games, where it drops to like 1440p, which is almost like 2K. But either way, that's pretty much the reason why I bought the One X. The console, any game, any third-party game that comes out, like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Wolfenstein 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, all of those games are going to run better on the Xbox One X overall. So that's the reason why I bought it. Now, sorry if the camera got a little darker here, the flash went out. But either way, that is the main reason why I went with the Xbox One X over the competition. I could have just bought the PlayStation 4 Pro or built the PC gaming rig, but I'm not really too into PC gaming because, you have to keep customizing your hardware, and then certain games don't work with certain, video cards and all that, blah, blah, blah. And, the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, even, you throw a game in there, you play it. I mean, I don't have time to come home from a long day of work and just sit there and figure out what game runs better on what card, what video card, and how much do I have to spend to upgrade this card, and la da 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 da. So that's the reason why I went with the One X. And $500 is steep, but you do get a lot of hardware for your buck. I mean, they can't even build a PC rig cheaper than the One X, or be able to perform as good as the One X does. And you get your 4K Blu-ray player just like you do on your One S, but then you get a console that can run games at native 4K, which is amazing. If you look at my other videos on my YouTube channel, and you have a 4K TV, you can actually take a look at those videos at 4K 60 frames per second. But even those videos don't do it justice. I've watched them myself, and they still don't look as good as as it is having your Xbox One X on your 4K TV. It doesn't look, doesn't look nearly as good as it does right in front of you. So I'd say the best looking game so far is definitely Assassin's Creed Origins. Halo 5, definitely a big upgrade, but not quite as good looking as Assassin's Creed Origins or Wolfenstein 2, or even Star Wars Battlefront 2. I've played all of those games, and they look fantastic on the One X. So, my opinion, if you don't have an Xbox One console at all, and you have a 4K TV, or you plan on getting a 4K TV, even just for the 4K Blu-ray, and you want to game on the machine a little bit at 4K, have better looking games, better looking third-party games like Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, and whatnot, then you definitely would want to pick up an Xbox One X. Yes, the price is pretty steep, but if you compare it to a PlayStation 4 Pro, it's only $100 more, and you get so much for your buck. You get so much more for your buck. So you get that Blu-ray player, the 4K Blu-ray player. You get the games that run a lot smoother, faster, and better, higher resolution than the Pro can do. And the console itself, in my opinion, the size-wise, is a lot slimmer than the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's a smaller profile, and it's more advanced. It just recently came out this month. Now, in my opinion, even the controller itself, the Xbox One controller in general offers Bluetooth, so you can sync it to your PC or Android phone, and you can pretty much play certain games on there. You can also stream Xbox games to your PC through the Xbox app on Windows PC only, I believe. And so there are a lot of features that people don't know about. The whole online interface, in my opinion, is better on Xbox. The whole Xbox Game Pass, you can buy this Game Pass and play original Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, and Xbox One games for, I believe it's $10 a month or $9.99 a month. And I don't believe you have to have Xbox Live Gold to use that feature. You just have to purchase the Game Pass. So that's definitely better than what PlayStation offers with their PlayStation Now service, which only lets you play PlayStation 3 games and I believe some PlayStation 2 games. In my opinion, having the ability to play not all of the games, but there are quite a bit of games in that library for the Xbox Game Pass. You have, a bunch of Xbox One games like Halo 5. I believe Payday 2 is on there. There's quite a lot. I can't name them all right now off the top of my head. But that Game Pass is definitely worth it. To me, I'm actually signed up for it, and it's nice to be able to just pick any game you want from that library and install it and play it right off the bat. Now, I would definitely suggest with the base 1 terabyte hard drive on the Xbox One X, it's definitely not enough space. So Halo 5 takes up almost 100 gigabytes of storage. Almost every enhanced game takes at least 60 to 80 gigabytes of storage. So, with 5 or 6 games, your 1 terabyte storage that's in there is gone. So I would definitely suggest buying at least a 2 terabyte external hard drive for your Xbox One X. And you can actually find those pretty cheap, roughly $80 here and there. You can get a 1 terabyte probably for $50 if you look at Best Buy, Target, and whatnot. But I did actually recently see a 4 terabyte external for $80 at Best Buy, but I believe that's going to be for Black Friday only this coming next weekend. So I would definitely invest in that if you plan on getting the Xbox One X or even any next gen console. Even the PlayStation 4 Pro, that 1 terabyte doesn't really last that long. So. And of course, you definitely want a very fast, stable internet connection because right off the bat, when you install the Xbox One X, it's going to want a firmware update. The games that you play aren't going to have the enhanced built into it. So as far as I know, if you buy Halo 5, if you buy the Halo 5 disc, you throw it in your Xbox One X, you're not going to be able to download that enhanced patch, 4K patch, to be able to experience the 4K, goodness that the One X offers. So you definitely want to have a stable internet connection, or at least something that you can, let it run all night to download that 4K patch. I believe Halo 5 was a big game already. It was 80 gigs before, so now I think it's around 90, close to 100 with the 4K patch. So I mean, don't be alarmed by that. Even the PlayStation 4 games are getting close up there to the 70s and 80s, even without 4K enhancements. So that's actually one big negative. Not really, you can't really knock Xbox for it because every console is doing it. The games are getting so big and massive. So you can't really knock Xbox per se. It's just technology. The games are really, really up there data wise. So you definitely, like I said, want to have, that external hard drive or some way to get more storage. Now, overall, like I mentioned, I'm pretty satisfied with my purchase. The enhanced games look beautiful. If you look at my videos on my channel, Final Fantasy 15 being one of my favorite enhanced games. Also, Assassin's Creed Origins, Forza 7 looks massively a lot better than it did on the One S. So I had Forza 7 since the release date back in October, and I played quite a bit of it on the One S, and I actually have the One S and the X side by side. And when I flip through, the inputs, comparing the two, the Xbox One S, looks a little more washed out. So you also have the items or, figures on your screen that are farther away. They look blurry. And when you look at it on the Xbox One X, they don't look blurry. So you have better viewing distance, faster loading times, and that's across all of Xbox games. So Xbox One games load faster, Xbox 360 backwards compatible games load faster, and so do the original Xbox games. They load faster. So not only are you saving time, so if you boot up Destiny 2 on your Xbox One X, I actually had my other Xbox One side by side running Destiny 2 on another TV, and I was already on, planet Earth or the EDZ before the Xbox One can even, get there. So I was already, doing a couple things by the time the other player on the Xbox One could even join me. So the loading times are definitely a lot quicker. And so I have another, just to prove that, I have another Xbox. I have my original Xbox One, my Xbox One S, and my Xbox One X. And my son uses my original Xbox One, and he, has his own Destiny account and all that. So we weren't even on a fire team. We just kind of, I asked him to go to, Planet Earth, go to EDZ. We both clicked A at the same time at launch, and I was already playing on the EDZ before he can even get there. So loading times are massively increased on the One X. So overall, definitely a good move on Microsoft. If you're looking for a console that is massively powerful in loading times, picture quality, frame rate, everything, even online experience, definitely you want to pick this up. And if you already have a PlayStation 4 Pro, it's probably not worth it at this time until the Xbox One X price drops. Maybe next year it might go down to 400, who knows. But I would probably wait for a price drop if you're looking to get a One X. I would probably just go with the One S because you're still going to get a decent experience on the One S. The Xbox One X is more of a console for gamers who play, like I mentioned, third-party games like Call of Duty, and they want the best experience for those games. So overall, that's my opinion. I don't really have many negatives about the Xbox One X other than the storage, only being 1 TB. And of course, still one of my issues is the battery pack. I wish Microsoft would automatically have it come with a built-in battery pack like the PlayStation 4 does. But other than that, the controller, still remains the same this generation or with this upgrade, other than it adding the Bluetooth and whatnot. But all right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment on my channel. I'm on YouTube all the time. I'll see your comment immediately, and I always give you guys a fast response. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. See you guys next time.